90 islands.
Yeah, vibrant, alive, new.
160 canals.
The girls are the most beautiful girls in all of the world.
1,281 bridges.
Well, I happen to like it very much.
70,000 dogs.
550,000 bicycles.
Fabulous.
Hello world, I've been waiting for a chance to see your face. Oh, hello world, I am ready for a different kind of place. And I'm flying to somewhere else, 'cause I'm searching for something else. And I'm leaving, I don't know where I'm gonna land. Oh no, yes, I'm leaving, I don't know where I'm gonna land.
Hi everybody, welcome to Travelers from Amsterdam. I'm Patrick Michael, and right now I'm paddling down the New Achtengracht. It's a quiet little canal in one of the most beautiful cities in the whole world, Amsterdam. And she's got a look and feel all her own. Hey Robin.
Hi, Patrick. Just say the word Amsterdam, and many people think of the city's relaxed attitude towards prostitution and some drugs. And I emphasize the word some. Of course, there's so much more to Amsterdam. The city is considered a marvel of engineering, and without her system of canals, I'd be underwater right now.
Because of the tolerance that Amsterdammers, and that's what they call themselves, have, this city has some of the most colorful people anywhere. And if you've never been here before, you'll want to after this hour. There's no place quite like Amsterdam.
Welcome to Travelers.
I'm a fan of my own city. Yeah, I like it very much. Well, I'm always looking when I'm on a bicycle. That's why I love to ride a bicycle. You know, if you're in a car, you have to look at the traffic, and I'm always looking around me, and I always see new things.
It's a small town feel, but with everything from a large city.
I like it's so small and so little that makes it cozy.
I have a feeling of this city of a village with a lot of possibilities.
People have been living in Amsterdam since Roman times, but the city wouldn't get its name until much later. The official beginning of the city is marked by the date October 27th, 1275. That's when the Count of Holland made a decree. The people who live near the Amsterdam would no longer have to pay the toll going through the dam. Amsterdam to Amsterdam. Because of the difficulty farming the land, Amsterdammers turned to the sea, and they prospered big time. But in 1452, fire leveled 3/4 of the city. It was quickly rebuilt, but from that point on, law dictated that all buildings be made of brick.
Mr. Jacobs was an engineer for the Amsterdam City Water Department, and I met him actually on the top of this giant clock tower. How was this all planned? This seems to me to be an incredible amount of planning for, what, the 15th century, the 16th century, did you say?
Well, it started with building a dam in the River Amstel to protect the land behind the River Amstel against sea flooding, and that was where the name of Amsterdam comes about. It's a dam in the River Amstel.
And so what is the purpose of all of these canals? Why were they built in the first place?
In the first place, they were built to raise the land, because it was a very flabby and peaty area, in fact, and they dug out the ground of the canals and raised the land between the canals so they could build on it. When they were the first canals were made, everything was thrown in the canals. Mm-hmm. And well, it was a way of getting lost of your waste, actually.
And how long a time period did that take to get it cleaner?
Well, actually, the cleaning started as soon as the canals were there in the 15th century already. They used tidal movement because Amsterdam was laying at the sea, and at high tide they let flow water in, and at low tide they let flow it out, so they flushed the canals actually. Mm-hmm. But after 1930, there was a dam was built, so the city of Amsterdam was no longer connected with the sea, and now we use a pumping station, and we can still flush the canals with a pumping station.
So it's much better. So can I go swimming in it or drink from it? I don't want to go that far, do I?
You can drink from it, but,
really?
But you get ill after a while, of course, yes.
Are days always this beautiful?
No, they're not. We have a lucky day today. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Today we got on a salon boat that was built in 1909, and Eric, the captain, took us on board and took us up front where he was navigating and steering the boat. It's called a salon boat, and back in the day, these boats were used by the wealthier families in Amsterdam to get through the canals, and they would take it from one place to another to visit a friend or stop and shop and things like that.
In the 50s, Winston Churchill sailed on his boat, and knowing him, he probably helped the wheel.
Are the canals what makes this city really unique?
Absolutely. There's no other city in the world with this buildup of canals.
Captain Eric, this is a guy that's got sea legs. He not only works all day on the water, piloting this boat, but he invited Robin and I back to his house, which is also on the water.
Hi, Eric.
Hi. Welcome to my humble home.
Thanks. Eric invited us over to his houseboat to meet his girlfriend Carol and his 2 kids and his dog Tim. We went over there and we kind of talked a little bit about what life is like on the canal. So you have the best of both worlds. You have the city, and then you have the peace and quiet of being on water.
You always hear the sound of the water, and especially when you go to bed. I love it, just hearing the water. I don't know how to say it in English, but you understand.
You have electricity because a line runs right in, and of course everything else with that, I guess cable TV even.
Yeah.
What do you do about plumbing?
Goes right into the canal.
No.
Yeah.
You just flush your toilet, it dumps right out in the water?
Yeah. But the water of the canals is changed 4 times a week.
That looks so good. Is that a Dutch soup? Is it?
Well, yeah, kind of.
Yeah?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Just my own fantasy, but I'm Dutch, so it's a Dutch soup.
There you go.
Yeah.
How is it in the winter?
Cold. Last winter we had a very tough winter, the winter before as well. And for more than a month there was just ice surrounding us.
Hey, thanks again, okay?
You're welcome. Have fun.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
$10.75 carats. Find out how much this baby's worth up next on Travelers.
When the sun goes to bed in Amsterdam, the rest of the city is just waking up. And the rule of the day is anything goes. From the X-rated world of the red light district to the cultural realm of music, theater, art, museums, operas, symphonies.
But the oldest nightlife activity in Amsterdam is called a brown cafe. And some of these places were built in the 1600s, and some of them look it. This looks like one. You want to go in?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Now they call these brown cafes.
It's because of the coloring on the side. You see, it's a lot of brown chairs, brown walls, and a lot of cafes start when they open up, it's a bit white. But if people have been smoking for a couple of years, it turns browner and browner. That's why it's a typical brown cafe.
And so these walls are brown from cigarette
smoking,
smoke,
cigars.
and cigars.
Yeah.
So does that mean in today's day and age you have a non-smoking section in here?
We don't have. In a small bar like this, we don't have. The building has been here since 1551. It's the last existing wooden house in Amsterdam. The last century they've made in 3 stone walls, but the front is still original. And it used to be an old sailor's inn for Norwegian sailors.
Now they tell me this is the national drink around here.
It's national drink. Typical in Amsterdam, people drink it together with a beer. And what they used to do in the old days was that they took a sip of their beer, chucked the Geneva in, and then drink it. That's why it's called in Dutch a kopstoot. In English it's a kick in the head, because it hits you double. Geneva in the beer, and you get twice as much alcohol. Just say proost. Proost. It's Dutch for on your health.
That was actually smoother than I expected. So what was that we just had?
Geneva is made out of pure grain, oats and barley, and it's like you get the English gin.
I have to be honest, I think if my mom were to come in, she'd probably go, ooh, the walls are brown. She'd want to scrub this place.
I will kick her out. Kick her out? I will kick her out.
Since Amsterdam is known for its diamonds, I decided to go to the Gazan Diamond Factory to find out a little bit more about taking a diamond from the rough and making it something that just sparkles.
Hi. Good morning.
I met Oliver, and he's a sales rep for Gazan Diamonds.
What I intend to do now is, if I may, explain to you how I actually process the diamonds from their rough form as they come out of the ground to their fully finished form as they go into a piece of jewelry, or as they go into the bank or safe deposit box or whatever. Now, our diamonds come from 4 major markets: South America, South Africa, Russia, and Australia. Although the first diamonds were found in India about 2,000 years ago. But Amsterdam has traditionally become a world centre for diamond grading, for diamond quality, and for diamond selling as well. It was really a traditional thing, but Amsterdam's always been known for a good business centre. The stones come in here, and then the stones are passed on to these gentlemen here. Now,
what do they do?
What they're doing is they're polishing the diamonds from the rough state to the finished, fully polished form. It's all done by hand. It's all done by eye, and it takes, of course, a great deal of expertise, and you're looking at probably some of the best polishers you're going to find in the world here.
In the world?
I would imagine so, yeah.
So how much of the diamond do you lose while you're cutting it and shining it? How much do you lose?
Unfortunately, we lose quite a lot of the stone. Between a rough diamond and the finished, fully polished diamond, it will be safe to say we'll lose around about a half of that rough stone in dust. So quite a lot of the stone is reduced to dust during the processing.
So Oliver was telling me about all the different cuts you can make out of these diamonds, from the heart shape to the pear shape to the oval shape, brilliant cut, Amsterdam cut. And I asked him, I said, Oliver, can I see some of these beautiful diamonds? But I wanted to see some of the bigger diamonds. Wow.
There we go.
How much is that?
That one is, let's just take...
Why do you keep closing it?
I just have to take a check on the price. Die heeft geen prijs, maar ik weet het. Het is 498.000. Dat is ongeveer... That one's about 218,000 US dollars.
How much?
218,000.
Can you open that up again?
Shall I just put it in a holder for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
How are you going to hold that with?
With this.
What's that? Oh, neat.
Okay, there you go.
Oh my gosh. And, you know, I'm trying to be careful because this is expensive, and I pick it up and ping, flew out of the claw onto the floor. I had a heart attack. Oh no, I am so sorry. Oh, can you imagine? Oh, I'm sorry, Oliver.
No problem.
Did you have a heart attack? I did.
It happens.
And Oliver said, even after working with them for so long, still makes him jittery to work with something so small and so rare.
At least you can't hurt the thing, at least you can't damage it.
Nothing can?
What if it fell into the heating system?
Oh no!
The oval is pretty tricky.
That's a jumping bean. I'm glad I didn't do that time.
You feel better now?
Yeah. For a diamond like this, how much rock would I have to pummel to get it?
Let's have a look, 5.4 carats. Let's say it was about 7 or 8 carats rough, or even more. You're probably looking at at a guess, somewhere between 10 and 20 tons of rock.
A cliff.
And then, yeah.
You'd be taking apart a cliff to get a diamond like this.
That would be a pretty a fair conclusion, yeah.
Now, when you're looking at stones for quality, I hear about the 4 C's.
Right.
What's that about?
The 4 C's are the factors, are the criteria by which we grade, we value the diamonds. Carat, colour, clarity and cut, and that's why they're called the 4 C's. The carat, of course, is the weight of a diamond. It's not the size of the stone, it's officially the weight of the diamond. And the cut there is a heart shape, a beautifully proportioned, full heart-shaped diamond in this case.
Bottom line, how much?
Okay. This stone, for around about $77,119 US.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
It's brilliant. What is this?
This is an oval cut diamond.
Oval cut.
This one's just a shade over 3 carats, 304 carats. This one's $61,993 US. A reasonable.
Is that a bargain?
I would say that's a reasonable price to pay for such a beautiful stone. Yeah, indeed. This last stone I'm going to show you is very, very special. It has an overall square shape, very, very beautiful, an exceptional diamond here. And of course, on the large side, 10.75 carat diamonds.
10.75 carat?
Yeah.
And how much would the princess cut?
The princess cut would go for...
Here come the numbers.
Okay. In US dollars, you'd be looking at about $112,928 US for that stone. So it's quite a good price. Just a shade over $100,000, and the 10.75 carat stone could be yours.
Say, you don't have any samples to go, do you?
I do have a little sample for you, yeah. And I shall just check out. Yeah, here we are. Quite a special sample there. It is in fact a little card with the carat, the colour, the clarity and the cut listed. So you'll know in future which diamond is the best one for you.
You mean no like little ones?
You know, at first glance, it looks like you could almost jump across if you really ran full tilt.
Next on Travelers.
The countryside surrounding Amsterdam is incredibly beautiful, and one day we decided to take a ride outside the city, and we came upon this farmer who was doing something we'd never seen before. So I asked him what he was doing, and he says this is the way the Dutch get across the canals in the fields, because they don't put any bridges out because they don't want the animals getting across. Theo made it look so easy. And that's natural because he's been doing this since he was 6 years old. We thought it looked like fun and asked the farmer if we could give it a try. But by the time we found out the canal was filled with cow manure, it was too late to turn back. And so I find it so funny how constantly on this show, we somehow manage to get ourselves into these situations where we're trying to imitate the action of someone who's been doing this thing all their life. Yet here we are again, thinking, oh yeah, I can do this perfectly on the first try.
Half a meter, about a meter.
How deep on me? Just
How deep
give me
on
a
you?
level.
Well,
If I were to stand in it.
just the mud.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just
The mud.
Just the mud.
The
Where's
water here.
The water comes up to here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going for a swim.
You're on this side.
Yes.
The cows are on that side.
Yes.
Now, for some strange reason, you have to get to the cows.
Yes. I also can use the bridge, but then I have to walk miles and miles before I can cross the
Take
water.
a stick.
Yes.
You jam it down in the middle.
Yes.
You run full speed at it, grab it, and fling yourself across.
Yes, that's right.
I still say, focus out. Don't look down. Right. Look across.
Look at all that.
That is so nasty.
He showed us how to do it, and then he said it was our turn.
We're doing paper, rock, scissors. It's as simple as that. Okay, you ready?
You know the passing of the buck.
You ready? You ready? Paper, rock, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Wait. Okay, it's between
so
you and me.
she's out.
Oh, good. Oh, Foster! And Foster lost, so he was the first to go.
Foster, that cow needs you.
Oh, shut up.
Take a hard one.
To hell with the cow, man. One more time. Just.
It's all set.
You first grab the stick, and then
And then let your speed carry you across.
yes.
And remember, Shut up! Commit. You know, you gotta go all the way.
No chickening out. Looked really simple.
It's nowhere near that simple.
Oh, boy. Okay. You can look at your watch all you want, Bill.
Hello?
I'm gonna take as long
Don't
as I want.
hesitate.
Cow poop. You know that's what's in there.
Now you have to come back too.
I felt badly for Foster because it was really cold and really wet. But it was really, really funny. I couldn't hold back on that one.
Poor Foster. Sorry. But the guy just... poor guy.
It's a blur for me. Everyone else seems to have a great slow motion photographic memory.
And Foster ran, but I don't think he ran with his utmost ability.
All I know is I'm in the air, I'm horizontal.
I was a little nervous that the stick might break. I just held my breath. Crack! Splash!
I'm crawling out of this, and it's nasty. It stinks. I mean, it stinks. And it's in my mouth. And then I'm on the other side, and I look over and I see Robin and Patrick on the ground laughing. And, you know, I'm thinking justifiable homicide.
Get away from me. No, I was gonna get you back. I'm serious, get away from me.
Since Foster broke the stick, we had to get another one. So we had another one brought in, and they made it so that it won't sink all the way down to the ground.
This
looks unsnappable. So now, if the two of you go in, it's just your own stupidity.
It was Patrick's turn to go because he lost the paper, rock, scissors.
Actually, I was really afraid I was going to miss the pole. I thought, you know, I'm just going to run headlong and completely miss the pole, dive headfirst into this gunk.
Get the pole, go across the creek.
I managed to catch the pole. It's just that I got all the way up to the center and then lost it.
I'm almost ashamed because I started laughing as much as he did. But I'm really not ashamed because there was a chance he was going to make it.
Yay, Patrick!
And it was Robin's turn. Robin took the gloves. They set up the pole. She went back further than we did. And this is when it becomes clear that Robin has had some sort of gymnastics training in her background. Because Pat and I just did some sort of loping goof run towards this stick. Whereas Robin goes, she did this total Mary Lou Retton gymnast thing towards this thing.
She does this whole Nadia Comaneci thing and does this Zen gymnastics. Boom, she's right in.
I did it! I'm dry! I did it! Oh my God! It was like a Mary Lou. I did it. I'm dry.
Oh, man.
And, oh, well, you know, Patrick and Fester were like, great, you know, show off, you know.
Look, we made it. Cows are safe, everybody's fine.
I'm going to the cows.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Oh,
let's get you hosed off.
I think the Dutch need to build bridges. That's just all there is to it.
So here you can see the original diary.
This is it.
This is the original diary. This was
Up next on Travelers.
One of the most popular tourist attractions in all of Amsterdam recalls one of the city's darkest times. This is the Anne Frank House. The diary that Anne wrote here while hiding from the Nazis has now been translated into 55 different languages, and it's still on the bestseller list more than 40 years after it was first published. There are lines down the street every day to go inside and see where this family hid out for 25 months during World War II. It's a sobering thought that 50 years ago, 8 people hid out here for fear of their lives for just over 2 years.
And upstairs, and that's very important, was the hiding place. Upstairs here was the bedroom of the family Frank. So they had to be very, very quiet during the day because you can hear everything. Every noise you make upstairs, you hear it downstairs.
Inside this building, they couldn't move around at all during the day, Monday through Friday, because this building was still being used, and if anyone heard them, it might give them away.
They were living in Frankfurt. And in 1933, when Hitler came to power, they flew to Holland. They knew what National Socialism meant for Jewish people.
Now, how far in advance did Otto know that they might be hiding? This might have taken a while to build, right?
So in the beginning of 1942 he started, but no one knew about it. His daughters didn't know about it. The people who worked here didn't know about it. He started to furnish slowly the annex, thinking of if things become worse for us, we have to hide. This is the staircase the helpers who worked in the office, in the front house, used to go to the hiding place.
Now, how many people that worked here knew that they were hiding?
Four people knew and helped them hiding, to bring up food, clothes, the necessary information, books to read, etc. And 2 people they were working downstairs and they didn't know about it, so they had to be all very, very careful. And now I will show you where the bookcase is.
The secret bookcase to get upstairs.
Absolutely, yes. So this is the bookcase that covers the hiding place. So we are just now standing in front of the hiding place. So when we open this door, you see the little secret annex. Shall we go in?
Yes. And all of this is that secret annex. All of this was hidden.
All of this was hidden. And this was the bedroom of the parents of Anne Frank, Otto and Edith Frank, and of the sister Margot.
Where did this model come from?
When we opened the museum for the first time on the 3rd of May 1960, Otto made this. Or it was with his help that this maquette was made.
When the Frank family was betrayed and the Germans finally came in, they took everything. All of the furniture, anything that could be of any value in that house was taken out and either sold or destroyed.
And it was a wish of Otto Frank to keep all the place empty, because it symbolizes also the emptiness of all those Jewish people who did not return from the concentration camps.
Now this next room, this is Anne's room.
This is Anne's room. And of the dentist, because they had to share this very small room. And she collected postcards of film stars, of princesses and queens. This is where the dentist slept, and this is the table which they had to share, and gave a lot of trouble because they all wanted to have their privacy, and they had to make fixed times so that Anne could write in her diary. So here you can see the original diary.
This is it?
This is the original diary. This was her present on the 12th of June 1942, when she became 13 years old. Everyone who reads her diary know that she did not survive. So it gives the diary also an extra meaning, because she writes about her hope to survive the war, about the fear of hiding, what happened with the Jewish people, how they are locked up in the hiding place, can't go out. don't know what happened with their friends, with their families. Also, the diary is for lots of people the first confrontation with the persecution of the Jewish people. In 1947, the book was published for the first time in Holland, and after a few years it was published into a lot of languages, and then it became really a symbol. Anna became a symbol of what happened with all those 6 million Jewish people who did not survive. Through her diary, she gave all those people a face and a voice again. You want to go up to see the attic?
I'd love to see the attic.
And then you see over there is a very small window, and Frank writes about it, because there you could see this church.
And there's the church you mentioned.
Yeah. She loved hearing the church bells. It gave her a feeling of, well, rest. So she knew the time was going on, because when you're hiding and you have nothing to do, it's becoming timeless.
The true tragedy of all this is that everyone except Otto Frank perished during the war. They were betrayed, the Germans did discover them, and they were taken off to concentration camps.
The mother of Anne died in Auschwitz. Anne and Margot were sent to Bergen-Belsen, and there they both died of typhus. Peter died in May 1945 in Mauthausen. Mrs. Pels, she died also in a concentration camp. And her husband too.
Without windmills, there was no Holland.
Up next on Travelers.
Since the early 1900s, Amsterdam has been the flower capital. This is where most of the world's flowers come from. And I went to see the auction house where those flowers are distributed. It's called the Aalsmeer Flower Auction, and it's one of the largest indoor facilities anywhere in the entire world. Apparently, somewhere around 126 football fields, all inside, filled with flowers. Now you're gonna have to help me here because I really don't know that much about flowers, okay? To get a better understanding of the auction process, I met with one of the buyers named Maurice, and he sort of walked me through that whole buying and selling process. Now, how do these guys know what to look for down there? I mean, they're sitting here, 50 feet away.
A buyer starts at 5:15. He comes in, looking at his orders.
You get to walk around there?
And then you got to walk around to see what flowers are available, how the quality is.
The auction room that I was sitting in with Maurice it's just huge. It's called a clock. And on the wall there are two separate clocks. And they sort of denote where you are in the auction. They have entire cold rooms set aside to keep the flowers fresh until the last possible second. And then they rush them out, they sell them, and immediately send them somewhere to be shipped off to go around the world. Now, the flowers come right out of the field. You cut them, and they come into here, right?
Yeah.
How long does it usually take from the ground, like from the scissors to the freezer?
Just a few hours.
What's a good-looking rose?
This is very good, a good rose.
This is a good one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very bright color. You see, it's very good quality. It's a good cutting stage, and it's equal. They're not 3, 4, 5 flowers blown open. They're all equal.
What's the difference here? These look smaller.
But this is not so good quality. This is more a second quality. This one is auctioned after the good roses are sold. So this is really second quality, and it's a second choice.
Now, what goes on down in here?
This is our distribution area. This is the largest commercial building in the whole world. And we are selling here 60% of all the world's flowers.
60% of all the world's flowers?
It's going via this auction.
It's not just roses, right?
Not just roses, no. The roses are 30% of the supply. But we have varieties of 5,000 flowers.
What would be the most popular flower?
The rose.
The rose?
I'm sure, yes, the rose.
It's the most popular flower.
I thought Amsterdam was known for the tulips.
Yes, it depends of the time of the year. It's not the season.
Could you possibly count how many flowers come through here every day?
Yes, an average of 15 million flowers.
And that's only a third of what goes through there on major holidays. Christmas, Mother's Day, Easter, almost 45 million flowers a day. It blows your mind that that many flowers are all together in one place, and that by the end of the day, all of them will be gone, only to be replaced in the morning with a whole new batch.
Now, that incredible flower industry wouldn't be possible without this, the windmill. At one time, anywhere you looked, you could see a windmill in the Netherlands. There were more than 10,000 of them. Today, less than 1,000 exist. We went about a half hour outside of Amsterdam to this old windmill, and we met Raoul, who still works in this old windmill. I had no idea what a windmill was used for before I came to Amsterdam.
Well, the first windmills were made for making flour. And later on, somebody here in Holland decided that you can do other things with them, pumping water and making land. We're actually standing now on the bottom of the sea. All that land and that water is 2 meters below the sea level, 6 feet. This is a small dike, and when you're looking over the dike, you see that that water level is 6 feet higher than there, because that is sea level.
So you're pumping this water out into that water and then pumping out to sea.
Yes. So if you don't pump with this mill, all that land will be flooded. And then we have wet feet and swimming cows.
Raoul said we could only have the pump on for a limited amount of time because if we had it on for any longer, we would drain the entire irrigation system and it would leave the land completely dry. And that's how strong of a pump this is. So when did they decide to start pumping the water out of this land and using it for cattle?
Well, the dike itself is built in 1645, and in 1650 the mill is built.
What drew you to operate a windmill, to live here?
Well, you know, you're doing two things. You always work with wind, and that means if there is no wind, there is no work. You never know in the morning what happened in a day. You get bad weather, you get good weather. Nobody says to you, you have to do that or that. The wind decides my work. Without windmills, there was no Holland. You know that the sea level is slowly coming up and our land is slowly going down, and that is going on for ages. So without those pumps, there was no Netherlands.
I've got my pillow and I've got my blanket. Would you believe I'm going to dinner? Find out where next on Travelers. So I was exploring the city, walking along the back streets and finding new little nooks and crannies, and I bumped into this cafe or coffee shop, or I don't know really what it was. Hi! You must be Gary Christmas!
Yes, I bet you must be a Scorpio.
I am!
Good, glad to meet you.
Nice to meet you!
So, won't you come in and visit?
This is such a fun place!
Yes.
Tell me, what do you call this place?
Well, we call us the Twin, but the name actually is called Backstage. My brother died 4 months ago, but actually he's still here.
Gary and his brother Greg were a famous vaudeville act for a really long time, and they lived their life on stage. So they finally, when they retired, decided to build something that was a haven. Millions of people come to Amsterdam every year, and some fall in love with it so much they make it their home. And this was the case with Greg and Gary Christmas.
Okay. So this was actually decorated by my brother and I and so on.
Wow!
And what I did over here, there's a very famous painter here, Cornelius. And so we took his bras, I made the bras and took them and put them over the paintings.
Why did you put them over the paintings?
Because I wanted to match the color, but I also wanted to show his work and I also wanted to show my artistic work. And this is very nice. I'm very proud of this one.
Traditionally, wedding dresses are white, aren't
Honey,
they?
do I look traditional to you? And basically, this is called our peekaboo hat. For S&M trips, whatever you want to call it. Mask and bond boundaries. Okay, but now, how are you in the mood to put on something glamorous?
I would love to
Well, I'll
try.
show you what I got, and we have to see if we can get your little buns into it. Okay. And I don't know if she's going to look good or not like good. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to turn around and count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 10. Great! Okay. Beautiful. Nice.
What do you think?
Oh, sugar pie.
Vanilla?
Oh, ooh. Very good. What do you think, guys?
What do you think?
Let's hear some applause here. Very nice, very nice.
And he is the most colorful person I've ever met in my life.
You? Where's Genio? We're going for a little walk.
Let's go for a walk.
Okay.
Down the street?
And we're going right down the middle of the street.
He had not just color all over him, from his crocheted sweater to his pants, but he was colorful inside. And he just expressed himself very boldly.
Let's get some dancing here. Let's get some dancing here. Come on.
Where are we going?
We're going to walk down this way. Get some dance. Come on.
Dun, dun, dun,
and
dun,
Joe,
dun.
get out. Dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm warm enough to keep you warm. Just give him a little bit of wink. Bye now. Da.
Robin had heard about this restaurant that she wanted to take Foster and I to, and so we followed her there to this place called the Supper Club. Wow.
Hi, I'm Robin.
I'm
nice
Foster.
to meet you.
This is Patrick. Hi. Nice to meet you.
We're going to be sitting over there this evening. If you put your coat downstairs and take your shoes off before you lie down.
Okay.
I'll bring over the menus in a minute.
Thank you.
Wow.
Unusual.
Take your shoes off before you lie down.
There are no chairs. It's just a wall of a bed.
This is taking breakfast in bed like 2 steps further.
Is it a restaurant?
Well, we call it, a restaurant, but mostly we say it's the art of living.
Where did the idea for the beds come in?
I always like it to have my dinner at bed. My favorite thing is to have breakfast in bed. I like that so much. So that's why I thought, well, you always have to do what you like. And then other people will like it as well. We want that everybody can be creative. I mean, even in the kitchen.
I felt like there was a play going on, and that we were all participants in our own way.
Even the cooking of the dishes is part of the show.
So relaxed, and the music is just making you really mellow. I didn't think I could be any more relaxed or comfortable. And then this woman came over and asked, would you like a massage? I thought, I love this place.
It was an incredibly decadent experience. I mean, it was great. You get to eat this really, really good food. I mean, excellent food. Stretch out, you know, and after most meals, I've wanted to, at a nice restaurant, lay down and relax.
Laying in a bed, they could have served me, you know, toast and eggs, and I would have been happy. But I'm telling you, they put on a heck of a show.
You know, these canals are beautiful and they're all over Amsterdam. I can't get enough of them. Wait, hey, Foster, you want to try your luck pole vaulting across this canal?
Annie, you can. Let me tell you something funny here, Patrick. You want to hear something funny? Her last name, Kip, it's a Dutch word. It means chicken. She's Robin
I knew
the
that.
Chicken.
Yeah.
Hey, what you got here?
This is a barrel organ, specially made for the canals of Amsterdam.
Wow, what do you do with it?
Turning and play the music for you, for instance.
Oh yeah? Well listen, I got a friend here who's a pole vaulter, and this one's a chicken.
All right.
Play us a tune?
That's all the time we have.
See you next time on Travelers.
Bye.